tattoos. Actually, I was getting my armpit done, and it was hurting a little bit, so I was like trying to like cop out to my tattoo. I was like, let's go on the face. So I went to the face and did it, just to give me some time to not like it's just on the armpit. So I put the face tattoo on and just went with it full send. Fuck it.
And as I said, last time we saw you was in for UFC 300. So can I ask you, like, have you missed being back? And I guess what's been the wait, I guess, for you to get back in the cage?
Oh man, this is everything to me. I've sacrificed my whole life for these opportunities, for these moments, for fight camps, for it all to be in there. Like it was a goal to always be a UFC world champion, make it to the UFC, to fight in the big stage all across the world. So being out of something you love and would do anything for it is challenging, mentally, emotionally, physically. Especially in the fight with UFC 300. I was feeling great, against a good adversary, Deiveison Figueiredo. And I'm getting taken down in the second round. I had really bad vertigo, so I had to go through extensive, therapy, specialist, in and out of the hospital, be put in the hospital from vertigo. So that uncertainty of not knowing when, I was gonna even just be a regular, back to my regular self. I couldn't even lay down, sleep. It was troubling, but I kept faith in myself, prayed to my God, had a close team, family that loved me and supported me and, was gonna get me through it. And I would like to, take hats off to the UFC performance, the doctors there, the PT, everyone there. They put my health first, instead of just jumping me back in the cage to fight, as fighters wanted to do, I wanted to do it. I was sitting in the hospital bed, I was wanting to do anything to get able to fight, weigh in to fight, but there was no way that I was making it. So they put my health first and really took care of me and got me the best help that I needed to get better. And I felt better than ever. I've had a great camp. We're here talking about the fight, but I'm just very excited to go out there and fight on Saturday for a lot of reasons. But it's the best I've felt in a while. It's mental clarity, physically, emotionally. I'm just excited to be out there and haunting ourselves as a dog. That's why I asked for this fight. And just excited to be back. 14 months away.
Glad you're doing well, man. And I gotta ask you, like, you've had a lot of health setbacks throughout your career, which is why we've seen, those periods of inactivity and whatnot. How much has that tested your drive and I guess your want in the sport? Because I think a lot of fighters or a lot of people that would go through that would probably at some point just bail out entirely in the sport. But here you are, returning and you're still at it.
Yeah, I look at it like this. I was under 2 years in the UFC, became a world champion. 6 fights, blasted to the top, came out of nowhere. That was that part of my life. Now this is part of life. Like, hey, it was easy to win the title. It's harder to stay here. That's what I'm doing. I'm staying here. I think that's the mindset, the mentality that I bring into it. Like, yeah, I'm a former world champion. It's great. I love it. It was something that was amazing to accomplish, but it didn't fulfill me. So for me to be here, going through what I go through, injuries, setbacks, losses, whatever you want to call it, to wake up every day and chase this dream, to push yourself to the limit, to set goals inside of the fight, the fight career I'm talking about. It's something that wakes me up every day, it motivates me, it scares me, it fills me with just all kinds of different emotions, to go in there and fight another man that's willing to do whatever to get the win, provide for his family, that's what it is at the end of the day. Like, I got a family that I'm trying to provide for, make a good life for. So fighting was my outlet, it's my gift, I gotta use it. So I'm blessed with the skills and just go out there and have fun out there, and that's it. So I think that keeps me coming back and just showing up every day, no excuses, no one's gonna save you, you just gotta work hard, no one cares how hard you're doing, you just gotta do it yourself.
Did it ever get close to you hanging it up, or no, you always knew you were going to return?
I've wanted to hang it up even before I was a professional. You know what I mean? Like, why do I do this? Why do I want to do this? But I had no other option. I had to do it. I had to do it. And I think that's the mindset that I bring into it. Like, hey, I'm a former world champion. It's great. I love it. It was something that was my way out. You know, all my friends are hooked on drugs, dead, locked up, you know, not happy with life. I was like, man, if I can just tunnel in, zone in, and grind at this. You know, I had, you know, everyone told me I was, you know, I had good potential and it was, you know, all this and that, but I was like, man, too late, believed it, and then, you know, I made those sacrifices, you know, moving out to alpha male and train with those guys and seeing how talented I was without even really having any experience in fighting besides just, you know, I started training, you know, as a martial artist. I didn't grow up in a martial art dojo, a jiu-jitsu academy. We grew up street fighting, boxing, and wrestling, you know, and going out there to the gym and seeing those talented, you know, humans train and fight and the way they live the martial arts as martial artists was inspiring to be around. And I just like, and this is where I need to be. Got there and, you know, had some luck, got, you know, really good friendships, family from that, and just kind of took off from there and knew that's what I wanted to do. But it's all the time. In the end, after I won the world title, I wanted to be done. You know, I was not, because it didn't fulfill me. You know, being a world champion, like it wasn't nothing. Yeah, I think I sat out there and focused on that, worked for that for over a decade. And when I got the title, it was like, this is it. You know, it wasn't it for me. But I love fighting so much that I need fighting. You know, I truly do need fighting in my life to help me battle my demons, focus, you know, to have that just hunger to wake up and attack every day like I do, you know, and also just the unknowing of the future. Like, yeah, you can say I had a great camp, feeling good, but you still don't know what's going to happen inside that octagon. Comes Saturday night. You can be prepared as you want, but it's still unknown. I think that's what like excites me every day, to get up and train, and, you know, and go after it.
And lastly, can you give us a preview of this fight with Juan Mercedes and what are you expecting from a veteran like yourself, been around for a while?
Yeah, Honey's been around for a while. You know, looks really good in his last few fights. You know, he's a dog, you know, so, you know, it's going to be a fight, and I'm excited for that. You know, I'm prepared wherever it needs to be, wherever it needs to go to get this win. Just focused on that, you know, and hope we get a great preparation. You know, best of luck to him, and excited to get to him Saturday.
Hey Cody, I saw on Instagram you recently, I think about 2 weeks ago, hit 3 years sobriety, so congratulations on that. Can you sort of speak to how that journey has been, as, you know, as it coincides with your mixed martial arts journey?
Yeah, you know, I appreciate it. You know, being sober has been a game changer for me. Not that I was a big addict or, you know, but, you know, when I chose to do that, it was always never the right decision. So for me, for my career, it's amazing. As a father, it's amazing. As a boyfriend, it's amazing. As, you know, as a son, you know, a brother, like it changed my life in a way that I didn't think that it would. You know, but as I keep progressing and I'm in that, you know, sobriety, I'm stronger. I feel better. I feel clearer. You know, 6 months I haven't, you know, smoked weed either. I haven't smoked weed since I was 12 years old, 13 years old. So man, just like the clarity that I have going in, you know, it's nice, man. Like it's just nice to have that mental edge, you know, clarity inside my career, but also my life. You know, like there's no coping mechanisms. You face your fears and you get up every day and tackle them, no matter what. We all go through things, you know. It's like we don't need to mask them with drugs or alcohol. And I come from a long line of, you know, addicts. You know, my father's an addict. I've been in prison my whole life. Had a lot of examples in my life that were, you know, family members and uncles that been incarcerated, you know, addicts. So it's, you know, something I never wanted to do, and I always wanted to make my mom super proud, you know. So I just, you know, if I can quit one thing that's not, you know, a bad habit, but it's helped out a lot in life and in my career, just focus, you know. So yeah, it's good living.
Congratulations on that. Sort of related, Sean O'Malley kind of famously, ahead of this UFC 316 fight, mentioned that he had stopped smoking weed this year. He obviously lost weight. Y'all have a little bit of a history of back and forth. With the win this weekend, is that kind of a fight you would still like to get to at some point?
Yeah, he should have kept smoking because he was like shit. But yeah, whatever he had to do, you know. Sometimes, you know, you lose, and you try to reinvent yourself and find yourself. And at the end of the day, man, like, you know who you are, you know what you gotta do. I know I'm of the best fighters in the world. So it's like, you know, when you lose, you got everyone in your ear saying you need to do this, do that. Just remember what got you there and who you are at the end of the day. But yeah, it's a fight that, you know, definitely, I think that's a huge pay-per-view sale fight, Sean and I, but like I said, I'm focused on this fight this Saturday, and then we'll let, you know, everything else fall in line.
Do want to go one more to that though, because after 316, big topic of conversation, Murad Dvalishvili may be the greatest bantamweight of all time. As a bantamweight champion yourself, do you think he's the greatest? Kind of, where do you come down on this argument?
I personally, I like Murad. I think he's a great, you know, great human. I mean, just his hard work, his fighting style, and just how he is as a person. You know, really humble guy, great fighter. You know, he's you know, turn it up. You know, he's doing well. He's winning. He's doing his thing in there. As far as best, I mean, greatest. I mean, you'd have to line him up. You know, I think it's truly Dominic Cruz is the greatest bantamweight of all time. He's, you know, from WC to here, like Dominic Cruz has that. You know, it's hard to keep saying, oh, it's the best, the best. It's like, how many best or greatest can you have in a weight class? You know, and that just shows too with the bantamweight how talented it is. The greatest, the greatest, the greatest. How many people you've heard of that the greatest? You had Henry Cejudo that was in there, that was a bantamweight flyweight champion, one of the, you know, greatest as well. Our weight division is stacked. You know, there's so many talented fighters in that division.
Thanks, and just last one from me. I believe this is the last fight of your current UFC deal. Are you looking to stay with the promotion, or maybe test the waters outside, just kind of get through this week and then move from there?
Yeah, see, I do a lot of things that I don't need to publicize. Hey, I'm doing this. I signed a new deal. Ali, my manager, got me a new
Congratulations.
deal. He's always been taking care of me, so, you know, like, for me, it's just another fight. You know, I obviously love the UFC, want to be with the UFC. It's the best organization in the world. So I let him handle that. You know, it's like it's just another fight for me. Like, yeah, I'm grateful that, you know, and you know, take it in a negative way, but I don't need to go out and breathe out a 4-fight deal. Like, I'm here. You know, like it's great. I'm thankful to be here for another contract, but you know, just for me, it's another fight, and I gotta get the job done.
Thank you.
Cody, ready? Sure. You talked about the vertigo thing. I just kind of wanted to get into that a little bit because we've seen with like professional golfers who get vertigo on the golf course, they get it to the point where like they'll be walking down the fairway and they have to lie down because it's so bad. That's golfing. You got to go in there and you got to deal with somebody that's punching you in the face for 15 or 25 minutes. Plus, you've got to be able to, you know, be balanced and light on their feet on there. So, when it came to the vertigo, like, was it to the point that you couldn't even like move side to side without getting off balance or things like that?
What's horrible was actually in the Deiveison fight when I got taken down. That's why I laid there. I was like, oh man, I couldn't. It's just spinning so bad. I felt like I was at the drunk spins, you know. And I'm like, I got Deiveison, you know, saying, "Come on, Cody, come on, Cody." And I was like, bro, like once I stop spinning, man, I'm getting up. We're getting after it, but it just never stopped. And you know, then training takes in. You know, I was in a vulnerable position where he could really elbow the shit out of me. I was trying to hold his head, and I really didn't know. I couldn't really see, but I could hear. Like I just felt like I was on the carousel. I know my coaches were on the right, so I knew I was positioned in the right. But like in those transitions of the arm choke and then getting the hooks in, like I was just, my body wasn't reacting. Like I was just so lagged. And then I was in, you know, just after the fight, I ended up having to just like tap out. You know, it was horrible. And go in the back, and Heather and Olivia took care of me, gave me some like stuff to help me from throwing up. Constantly threw up. I went back and watched the fight at my house, and I kept like laying my head back a little bit. Run in the bathroom, throwing up, fine. Went to the hospital and I was admitted to there, just kept throwing up. And thought we had it right. Went to see Dr. Collins in UPMC in Pittsburgh, did their vestibular therapy, did all that again. I was like, all right, cool, feeling good, body was feeling good, got back into training, like, it's all right. And then, you know, fight week with Miles Jones, that Tuesday I woke up and told my girlfriend, I was like, man, I got vertigo. And I just couldn't stop throwing up. I didn't even know where I was at. She had to help me to the car, drive me there. We drove me to the UFC PI. Heather advised us to go there. Dr. Deiveison saw us in the hospital. Drugged me up so much that I wake up, throw up, pass back out. Like I was just out of it. And it was like a couple months, man, I just felt down myself. Had to go back to the UPMC, go through the vestibular therapy. So like I said, like that 14 months out was, I'm just like, I chose to be out. Like I was dying to get back. Like I love the fight. I enjoyed the fight. Like Deiveison fight was good, you know, until it wasn't. You know, it's something that I couldn't control inside there. But this camp's been good. I'm just hoping that everything stays afloat, make the weight, and just go have fun on Saturday.
And then you talked about earlier about, you know, how there's been so many points in my life where I've been done with fighting, and like, I kind of relate to it, right? Because it's sort of that addictive personality thing where you're like, man, I want to do this, and then you get there and you're like, okay, I got here. So, what other things do you have in your life to kind of keep you on track? You know, when you get to that point with fighting, like, all right, I'm bored of this, but I know I got to do it because it's my job. Like, we see the tattoos, we see the motorcycles. So, like, what sort of things can you go to when you get tired of fighting and be like, man, I got to check out for a day or 25 minutes or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely the motorcycles. You know, I have a business partner, we're on Salmon. We're starting to load cycles, so we're doing frame-up custom FXR builds. We actually have our first giveaway bike. Should be wrapping up in the next month, so look for that on the low cycles and our Instagram pages. For that giveaway, how to enter it. But yeah, to work on the bikes is like awesome. Like Lawrence, we have known for years, and became a real close friend of mine. Helps me out. He's a wizard with motorcycles. I mean, I can pick up a bolt that's in my garage. I'm like, dude, what's this off of? I'm like, dude, it's here. He's like, all at your bracketeer exhaust. And I'm like, oh shit, like he's on FaceTime in Tennessee. You know what I mean? I FaceTime him and I have shitty Wi-Fi in my garage. I'm like, dude, like I can't get this clutch out. Like he's like, oh, you know. So it's good, man. It gives me something else to think about. Like I'll be in there, it's one of those things like if you're taking a primary off, like you have to do it all. Like I can't I can't sleep that night. If I know I got it half taken apart, I have to go down and do it. He's the same way. He's a hard worker. He's super talented. And also, man, he's just a good dude to be around, good energy. So we're excited for that, adventure together with No Love Cycles. So definitely motorcycles and also riding. I love riding. Just get on the bike and just go and ride. And like, things that I like to do and enjoy to do can kill you. But it's like, hey, I'm gonna go ride my bike just to have some fun. I'm gonna go ride to the gym. Hope I don't crash on the way and die. I hope I don't get my leg broken in sparring. And like I ride my bike, I'm riding, and I'm like, man, I hope I don't I literally think that all the time, like, I hope I don't break my leg kicking so I can ride my bike back, or it's gonna have to get towed. That's the shit that goes in my head when I go to the gym. I'm on the bike. I'm like, damn, but it's freeing. I like it. I pull up on the bike. So for me, horses too. Spend time with my family. I got an amazing girlfriend, son. I'm winning at life. That's the thing. Like the wins and losses in this, keep me afloat, keep me able to do and provide. But like at the end of the day, man, like they're my rock, they're who I go to. So life is good for me with whatever, and wherever I'm at, I always can count on them and have people that care about me and will pick me up when I need, carried.
Good.
Hey Cody. Hey Cody, so you mentioned, you said you were winning in life with your family and everything you've got going on outside out of the cage. At what point did you realize that is what you wanted? You wanted to win in life that way?
I think that's always something I wanted. I didn't care about the fame, the money, like anything like that at all. Like that's all nice. I mean, that money's great to live. Like once you was a world champion, it was like, okay, I believed in myself. Like no one believed in myself to make it here. Even before I even had an amateur fight, So it was like wasn't that a big deal for me. So I knew that wasn't going to make me happy. So what truly was going to make me happy is having that stuff that really money can't buy. No arena can buy. So that at the end of the day, man, like when you have that, like I think that's your richest part of you. Family that loves you, cares about you, close knit friends, coaches, teammates that you like to be around. You like their energy. Because this career is short and this life's short. Like who knows? It could be the last fight. We don't ever know. One injury away. Even that's in a day. Tomorrow's never promised. So for me, like just taking those little things and never taking them for granted. Just thankful that I have the people that I have in my life where I'm at. So that's it, man. Just good energy. Excited to go out there on Saturday and put on performance. And that's just like my thank you to them. That's on me. I go out there and fight and win. It's we all win. It's not just me. And that's why I take it so hard when I lose, because it's like they instill so much into me, my coaches, my teammates, my family, my friends. So winning at life is just being able to come home to them, win or lose. It's like hey, they still got my back.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.